Let's talk about the very interesting phenomenon in the bug kingdom of slave-making ants. Now, because this is the internet, and thus has to be said, due to the "how dare you say we piss on the poor" reading comprehension, this is not an endorsement nor excusing human slavery. This is talking about a specific and interesting behavior seen in the insect kingdom. Do not come into my comments talking about how I'm endorsing slavery or anything like that. This is not that, but since this is the internet, that had to be said. Anyway, so slave-making ants, there's actually multiple species of them that do this behavior, but basically they are what is known as brood parasites. So essentially what they do, there are scouts in the slave-making ant population that go out and they find a nearby anthill of ants of a different species. Once they find a suitable local nest, they go and perform a raid. This being the ants of the slave-making species go and invade the neighboring anthill, and depending on the species, they take either the eggs, the larvae, or occasionally the adult ants. They go and capture a bunch of individuals of the other species and bring them back to their own hive, where again, depending on which life cycle stage they capture, they either raise them or just kind of take them. And these ants are then, as one may guess, slaves to the ant colony that captured them. And they perform pretty much everything that the captor hive needs to function. They find food, they raise the young of the captor species, they do cleaning, they do like manual labor, all of that, as one may guess. So the individuals of the captured species, they just are integrated into the hive and they do basically everything, even in some species, in some circumstances, participating in raids on other colonies, potentially even the same colony that they were originally a part of. So in some cases, the parasite ants, they only target like one other species of ants in order to take back to their colony, but in other cases they target basically whatever species is just geographically close to them. However, another interesting fact is that occasionally the captive ant species will rebel against the parasite ant species that captured them and took them in, and occasionally take over the host colony, which is very interesting. So they basically stage a coup against their captors, which is cool. I don't know if it's determined the cause of that or why occasionally that happens, or like if there's any biological cause to it, like what triggers the sudden rebellion against it and why it happens in some cases, not others. I'm not sure about that, like myself, the reasons. I'm not sure if there are any explanations to that so far. Another interesting thing about this is it has evolved separately multiple times across multiple different ant species, so not all of these slave-making ants are the same species or are related at all beyond just being ants. So this is obviously a beneficial behavior to the like parasitic ants, not as much to the captured ants, because they normally don't reproduce themselves, so it does lower their fitness, and then that lowers the fitness of the original colony as well due to the loss of the workers. So it is only beneficial to the host ants. So yeah, very interesting phenomenon, very interesting behavior that is worth discussing.